Our guest today has been in the ministry for 57 years. He started something in the 60s called Action Evangelism. He's the founder of that. And in 2002, it turned into Kingdom Life University. He's the president of that. And, he's a musician. He's been on television programs. In fact, he had his own television program, I believe. But we're going to get in and get to know Dr. Jerry Brandt a little bit here. And we were having a little bit of technical difficulty, so let's check that out. Are you on here with us, Dr. Jerry?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Terrific. Yes, I can. So, Dr. Jerry, you've been in ministry a long time, and you've been in Limbic Arc now a short time. So, share with us just a little bit about your ministry, because I'm interested. You've been with something for 57 years, since the 60s. What got you into that whole action evangelism? What's the story behind that?
Well, I was in a call of God really at age 14, and I began to actually preach at age 14, if you can believe it. So that was years before 1966. But that I've never done anything else but ministry. I just knew God had me that direction, and that's what I've done all my life, and I really like it. And it's been very, very good, very good. Been on television a lot over the years. Was on television in California for quite a number of years. And we mobilized churches to the streets of San Francisco to do homeless outreaches. We did that for 7 years and had so many homeless come to the Lord that we ended up with a ship, a 385-foot ship that we got out of Muir Island estuary, an old World War II troop vessel. And we made it a shelter for the homeless over there on the Oakland side in the estuary. And it's quite an interesting story how God used that ship to help a lot of people.
Well, now you've started, in 2002, you started Kingdom Life University. You're president of that, and you also have a number of professors there. You're a global ministry in 19 different nations. Tell us a little bit about the university.
Well, the university was really started initially to train local pastors in different nations to do village evangelism. We've had a very strong commitment to complete the harvest. We believe that the whole world needs to hear the good news. And the gospel is called good news. So we trained pastors. We have one campus in Kenya alone that has 756 pastors in it. So we've trained a lot of pastors, thousands of pastors around the world in many, many different languages, dialects. And we're excited. We're excited to be, a part of this whole plan today that God has for the nations.
Wow. Well, and we were talking earlier because, you've been in ministry for forever, really. And then, some of us are just becoming aware of quantum physics and quantum wellness and all the stuff that we're dealing with. And when I talked to you earlier, you said, man, you don't have a problem at all with that. So can you bridge the gap for us with some of the things that you've discovered with your background and what's happening here with Limbic Arc?
Well, we believe very strongly in the resonant frequencies. For example, the resonant frequency of your voice. I was in Africa a year ago doing 2 graduations, one in Gabon, one in Ghana. And when I got home, I got very, very ill. And my body began to deteriorate very quickly. I took on 30 pounds of edemic fluid. The doctor said my heart was failing, my kidneys were failing, my lungs were failing, everything was failing because I had 2 watermelons worth of water and edemic fluid in my body, a lot in my chest area. And, my wife and I began to pray, and the Lord really strongly just spoke to me and said, begin to command your body. You have authority over the cells of your body. And you begin to command your body to be whole. And it's Christ in us that's our hope of glory. So I thought, well, if he's in me, then he can speak through me, right? So my voice becomes his voice to my body, right? So I began commanding my body to be healed. And within 2 months, all that endemic fluid left. The doctor told me, he said, I don't know what you've been doing, but he said, you're a miracle. He said, I've never seen anybody. And since that time, I changed my diet. I lost 30 pounds. I went to a keto diet. Not everybody likes that. But I'm on keto. I weigh less. I used to weigh 206 pounds. Now I weigh 180, and I stay right there. And I eat really well keto. But I'll tell you what, when I found Limbic Arc, Ray Gebauer, I don't know if everybody's watching, but Ray's a good friend of mine, and I've known Ray. In fact, he's helped support our international ministry. He launched 9 different teams in India that went out to remote villages, bought the equipment for them, and back when he was with Manatech, and God really used him, and as a part of our ministry. And so he told me about this, and I said, "Well, Ray, that's right. It goes right along with what we believe." You want me to continue?
Yeah, but, come
Yeah.
on, man. We're putting these things together, so you got to bridge the gap.
Frequencies turn into natural products, right? For example, 6 times God said in the book of Genesis, "Let there be," and immediately it appeared. He said, "Let there be animals," and the animals appeared. He said, "Let there be trees," and the trees and the grass appeared. So God was really literally releasing a frequency that was creating. And I believe the frequencies of our tongue, our declaration, can create. We can create good things in our life, or we can speak evil over people and destroy them. I know people that have used their voices to destroy their marriage.
Yes.
And wow. But if we speak love, and you know what I like about Limbic Arc? Hey, you guys, there's a lot of love on it. I love it. And there's just a lot of love floating around here. And I believe the greatest power in the world is love. There's nothing will match it. Love is the greatest energy. I tell my directors around the world, I love them, and they can feel my love, whether it's in Kenya, Ghana, or Pakistan, or the Philippines. They literally know, they feel that love, and they share that love with me. Love is an international energy. It's international. It's probably intergalactic. If we had people on the moon, they'd probably feel it there. But it's a powerful force, and it's the force that sent God's Son to us, I mean, that's how powerful it is. So love is powerful. And if we all stay in that spirit of love, because I believe love is an energy force. I believe it comes out of the heart. I believe the heart of man communicates the energy of love, and it's a frequency.
Wow. So then with your knowledge, I mean, you're the president of a university, you've got a global ministry, you've been doing this forever, and all of a sudden, 3 or 4 weeks ago, this Limbic Arc thing falls on your lap through Ray, and you are having some results because of that. And when you were talking about the voice frequencies and those kind of things, we use our voice with Limbic Arc. So you get all this stuff.
That's what intrigued me with this whole thing is I thought, hey, I already believe in the resonance of the voice. And if I can record my voice in the Limbic Arc, and maybe it can communicate back to me the energy that's coming off of my body, I believe in that very strongly. And so this fit right within, believe it or not, my theology. It fit beautifully together. And we believe this, I don't know how much you know about Israel, but I go strong on the Jewish calendar a lot because we're tied in with Israel. And Rosh Hashanah last year released the decade of the pay. The letter pay in Hebrew is the mouth. And the last decade was a decade of the eyes. If you see the Hebrew letter in the 5760s of the Hebrew calendar, it was the 2 eyes. It was a time of revelation. But now it's moved into the mouth. And so this is the decade of declaration. What you speak has the power to create. I totally believe that.
Wow. Well, you told me earlier, too, that you had a course in quantum physics in your university. Is that correct?
Well, we have a gentleman from South Africa. His name is Gordon Dacre, and I just put him into the Limbic Arc. You know what? He really is an interesting guy, and God has downloaded him some formulas of leaves and herbs and different things. He had a healing ministry in Africa for years, flew all over, had his own airplane. I'm a pilot as well. And he told me, he said, I saw great things happen, but he said, I asked God one day, is there any formula that would heal all sickness? And God downloaded him a formula, and he put it together, and it's getting incredible results. And I want him to see if he could tie this into Limbic Arc somehow. The formula, it's herbs and leaves. See, when God made creation, he said the healing of the nations in the leaves. That's what God told us. In fact, in Revelation 22 and 23, that's what it says. Eternally, we're going to have trees, and they're going to be healing. It's amazing that, that some of these products that are on Limbic Arc are so powerful because God put them in there. I mean, these are part of God's creation. So if we can release this, I believe Dr. Cook is God has downloaded him some real wisdom. And I believe the revelation of discovery, inventions, and everything that has come to this man. And now he's making it available to the whole world. I mean, this is just so exciting. I can't tell you, I'm laying awake nights thinking about this. I mean, you know what I mean? This is really, truly transformational.
Wow. Well, we agree.
Here's what's happened to me. You know, I'm a pilot, and I'm going in for my third class medical. And I had a little problem with my eyes the last time. This was 3 years ago. Every 3 years, I got to renew my medical for my pilot license. And so I started getting on the vision. I've been on the vision thing now for 3 weeks. I just set that up the first week. And the other morning, I opened my phone, and I've never been able to read the real small print, like all the products. Because I have a phone, and you know those products really appear small. I mean, they're small letters, right? I was perfectly able to read those letters. I thought, whoa, I don't have my glasses. Now reading, I'm thinking, boy, this eye thing is really working. And then I was diabetic before. I was diabetic before. I was 9.4 on the A1C scale, which is terrible. And my diet has taken me down to 6.4, so I'm no longer diabetic. But I had sugar problems, blood sugar problems. So my eye stuff, things I took from my eye has reduced my blood sugar below 100 the first time in probably 10 years. The things that have really helped me is the vision thing has been really noticeable. That's really noticeable. And I was getting a little blurry in my left eye. It's gone. And then the other thing was my blood sugar. And boy, if you're listening out here and you have diabetic problems, I'm telling you, this is a good thing. This is going to help people, get their blood sugar down. And that's a major problem right now, by the way. A lot of sickness out there. A lot of people are diabetic. And the other thing was the strength. I got up the other morning and I had a big task here in my house. I just put it off for a week. I didn't want to do it because I knew it was going to take a lot of energy. I'm 77, so I thought, wow, I need some energy here. So I put strength on in the morning. And after 3 hours, I'm scraping the tile. My daughter's bathroom tile came off in her shower, and I had to replace it all. And I'm scraping these tiles for 3 hours, and my wife says, honey, where'd you get all this energy? What are you doing? I said, you know what? I put on strength this morning. I bet you it's that Limbic Arc strength. And I never got tired all day. So I don't know. I'm very aware of my body because of what I went through a year ago. So I think that I particularly feel some of the effects of this, maybe more than some people who are not so aware of their body. I really made it a point to pay attention to my physique because I got to live long to get this good news out.
Man, well, okay. So here's your opportunity, Dr. Jerry. All right. Because this is being recorded and it is going to go around the world. It is right now where we have a global community on here with well over 100 people on here. So what would you tell people about Limbic Arc on a large scale? What you have the floor, just let it rip.
Well, I put it on the post recently. I said, this is a God-given for me. There were just some issues that I've healed a lot in my body, but there were some things that just needed to take me over the top. And I really believe Limbic Arc is doing that with me. However people respond, I don't know, but I know it for me, it's made a difference. And I just feel better. I put on my own custom and I've had it on for 2 weeks and I just feel better overall. And when I get up in the morning, I'm ready to go for the day. I emotionally, I feel a little stronger. And I would say to everybody, come on, let's get everybody in the world on this. I've already shared it with my director in Gabon. And he said, man, we need something over here to help finance the university. And I said, well, let me share something. And I sent him the Limbic Arc. And I talked to him this morning. I tell you, this thing's going to go global with us. And I know it's already global. But we're going to try to get as many people around the world on this because I think it can make a big difference. I think this technology is the new medical science, Again, we can't make claims. We're not, we can't diagnose or treat any disease. I know we have to have a disclaimer, but just tell people, hey, you want to feel better? Do you want to think better? You want to think clearer? Do you want to see better? You want to breathe better? Come on, get on this. Give it a shot. Give it a try. So I've got 2 people right now that are trying it for a week or 2 under my program, and I'm sure they're going to sign up.
That's awesome. And so, I've had some people that have had challenges with, quantum physics because they don't understand it, but that fully falls into your theology, correct?
Absolutely. There is absolutely no question in my mind. I did a lot of work with the homeless in San Francisco. I was nightly television. I had my own broadcast in California for quite a number of years. We mobilized churches to the streets of San Francisco, and we did an outreach every Saturday. We fed the homeless. We housed them on the ship. We worked very strongly on the streets, because I think the church ought to be out of the building, and that's what I like about this whole pandemic. It's got the church out of their buildings now into the streets, which they should be, right? And I also like to lead worship. I've led worship now for 40 years. And one day I asked God, I said, God, is there a frequency of heaven? And I just asked him, and he said, I'll teach you the frequency of heaven. And a certain way of chordings happen on a keyboard. There are certain chordings that you hit that release something. It's like releasing a portal from heaven to earth. It's amazing. And people would come into the outreaches, and the homeless would tell me, people would say, what's the atmosphere? There's something here. We don't know what it is. They didn't know what it was, but it was the presence of God. And I believe music has an enormous ability to cause us to resonate. I call it harmonize, if you want to call it that way, or symphonize with the resonance of heaven. And it's a touch of heaven on earth. That's what the kingdom of God's all about. Now, I'm really going spiritual on you. I hope it's okay. Some people may not agree with what I'm saying, but I understand that.
So how does all this then tie back again with Limbic Arc, the way that you believe and your background and your thoughts? How does this tie in? You know, what you were just talking about.
I would say to anybody online here that's a little skeptical about, you know, whether this is a God thing or not, or if it's okay with your theology. You know, what I like about Limbic Arc is there's no theological position. It's going to work for you whether you're into the spiritual thing or not. I particularly think, you know, the spiritual thing is going to enhance it. That's just my feeling. Because when we become a little more aware of our spirit man, I call it our spirit man because that's where God resides inside of us. You know, we tune in more to what God is, and God is spirit. You know, Jesus came to the woman at the well, and she said, well, we worship God on this mountain and you worship on this mountain. No, God says, they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. I call it the fifth dimension man. My spirit man's the fifth dimension man. And that's where this frequency really works. I mean, I'm telling you, it does work.